Hello, I am live. Today is Tuesday the 23rd of May 2023 and I am reading out of Winged Pharaoh. It's a book written by Joan Grant. It is a book of her farm memories, a beautiful and very interesting story, a journey through the old Egypt. This life, her first book, tells about the time before the flood in the old Egypt. We are now at chapter 13 of the third part of this book, where she accounts, well, she just explains more of these times. Very interesting. She is Sekita, the daughter of Pharaoh, and she's trained to co-rule with her brother because Pharaoh is dead. Neferteri. I had a close friend in the temple, Neferteri, who used to live in the palace when I was a child. She was 2 years older than I. At the age of 13, she was betrothed to a young noble, but he was killed in the same battle as my father. On the same day that he died, but before she had heard of his death, she was knocked down by a chariot. The horse, maddened by the sting of a hornet, galloped down a narrow street between high mud brick walls where Neferteri was walking, and the swaying chariot knocked her down, and the wheel went over her and injured her back. For 5 days she lay as if she slept, and when at last she returned to her body, her legs no longer obeyed her. And when she awoke, she knew that her betrothed had died, and yet she grieved not, for she remembered all that they had done together, away from earth. But the next time that she awoke, she remembered only vague, fragmentary dreams. So she wished to go into the temple to train her memory. The priest thought it would be too great a strain on her, for only those who are strong in body are taken into the temples. But my mother thought that in the temple Neferteri would find not that her burden would be made more heavy, but that it would be lightened. So when she grew stronger and could walk again, although her right foot was twisted and cold as the claw of a bird, she became a pupil of Neferteri. Neferteri stayed in the temple until I was 19. Often, when I had been away at the palace, I would cry out to her that the temple training was too long and too wearisome. Before she talked to me, the colour and the pageantry of the palace were bright before my eyes, and the walls of my little room seemed narrow as a tomb. Then Neferteri would talk to me, until the music of festivals sounded remote, and the walls of my room seemed to fold back like a door which led me to a yet undreamt of splendour, and hot impatience left me, and again I knew that time passes as quickly as sand slips through closed fingers. When I was 19, Neferteri died. She had known for 3 days that her time on earth was drawing to its close. Her spirit had burned too brightly for her body, as burning oil would crack a thin shell bowl. I sat alone beside her in her room. She felt no pain, and the hand I held in mine was quiet and cool. Sometimes she smiled and talked to one who stood beyond the bed, where I saw but the wall. Then dawn showed through the window, and I turned to pinch the wick, which spluttered in the last few drops of oil. But when for a moment I would have left her side, I felt her faint hold tighten on my hand, and she said, "That little lamp is the sun. This little lamp is to the sun as what I've done to what I've longed to do. Soon we must go, but each of us shall leave the earth a little darker for our going." When the lamp went out, the room was filled with the pink light of dawn, and in it I was all alone. That's the end of chapter 13 of the third part of Winged Pharaoh. Bye-bye.